Well, Victoria's Secret has admitted that social campaigning does not sell bras and panties since they stopped using their traditional models in favor of diversity or body diversity. Sales have dropped precipitously, and now the company's CEO is saying, we got to make a U-turn if we want to make money. They want to go back to sexy models in a bid to what CNN is calling regain cultural relevance. Now, the brand says that it has lost over $1 billion in its attempt to advertise body inclusivity. And in an interview with CNN, the CEO said that the company's attempt at inclusive sexiness was not enough to carry the day. So just think about that for a second. When they had these, here you see, like, this is pretty old. That's Tyra Banks and Heidi Klum, Giselle.
Who's the one on the far right again? I forget her name.
I don't remember.
I met her, Alice. No, when I was on Fox, I think I have a photo with her.
Okay.
But she was fully clothed when I met her. But she was it Alessandra or something like that? No.
I only know the three in the middle. I'm not sure. I'm sure the chat will know it.
Let us know.
At the drop
Heidi
of a
Klum,
hat. And
Heidi
the one
Klum.
on the far left, I'm also not sure. Now, obviously, this was popular branding for for Victoria's Secret, that they just sort of jettisoned because they felt like it wasn't very socially conscious. And then they realized that trying to appease people who, want social consciousness out of a company, those are not usually the heavy hitters when it comes to buying power. Those are not the people who are going to support your brand if you do something, make a Dylan Mulvaney type move. Now, here's what CNN says about how this, was popular, their social activism, but just didn't sell, saying there were some successes, including a campaign to launch the new Victoria's Secret featuring soccer player Megan Rapinoe, transgender model Valentina Sampaio, and other spokesmodels, but favorable reviews from online critics never translated into sales. The brand is projecting revenue of $6.2 billion this year, down 5% from the previous year, and well below the $7.5 billion from 2020. Again, because, woke activists are not big spenders. That's not really what you'd call like a desirable avatar to sell to, right?
Think about it. I've got a question for you. Like, because you see all these Victoria's Secret stores that have closed, right?
Yeah.
They've closed as a result of this. But men would often go, whether it's Valentine's Day or Christmas or something like that, would go into these stores to shop, right? Mm-hmm. And in order to, maybe aspirationally, their partner or their spouse, whatever, they want them to look sexy, so they would go and they would buy different outfits. But if you see like a big picture of like Megan Rapinoe up on the wall, like, are you as a man going to be?
Why are you asking me this?
Lured in there? I don't know. Maybe Philip. You see like transgender model pictures, and then I think you had a picture of Megan Rapinoe, like soccer player. Like, is that going to be something, that like, that'll bring me in the store? That's not going to bring me in the store. Like, I don't want my wife looking like that.
Well, it would bring me in a Nike store.
I guess. Yeah. If I want to buy some shin guards.
Right. But no, I don't think that is meant to inspire, like Victoria's Secret is here to sell you this idea of feeling sexy and being sexy with somebody else appreciating that gaze, right? And so this idea that you're like in athletic wear and not feminine is harder to sell, and it's only empowering. Victoria's Secret is for couples, like that image anyway, right?
Right.
And so then you're only selling the image to half of, like, maybe the woman appreciates it, but there's less buy-in.
I'd love to know from women in our audience, do you appreciate it? Because to me, it seems like you're erasing femininity. You're having transgender advertisers. Well, men basically dressing up and playing woman face, wearing Victoria's Secret outfits, and then you have, athletes. You're showing off athletic clothes, which is not Victoria's Secret. So aren't you like really taking away the femininity quality of Victoria's Secret? Feeling beautiful, feeling like a woman?
Well, I will say this, because they are going back into activewear, and I was really upset about the way that Nike presented sports bras on Dylan Mulvaney, because that person has no boobs. Some synthetic boobs, but not real boobs that, like, if you've had boobs, if you've lived your life with a D cup like I have, you have agonized over sports bras if you like to be active like I do. It's not a fun little thing that you like frolic around your backyard like Dylan Mulvaney does. It's serious. It's the difference between like, can I run in a race or can't I? And I want a brand that understands that boobs serve a use value. I used them to nurse 3 babies. But they're also hard to live with, and it's not a fun little toy that you just put on, and I don't like that. So that's how I feel about it. Also, Victoria's Secret bras give you quadriboob, and so that's something. What?
I know what it is. I know what this is. This term that you've come up with.
I have no idea.
But Philip doesn't, and maybe do our audience. I'll ask you guys in the chat. Do you guys know what quadriboob is?
It means I'm gonna have to show it to you.
Please.
It means that the bra cuts in halfway here, like that.
Okay.
I'll sit up. And then it looks like you have 4 boobs instead of, sorry, I'm touching myself, instead of 2. And so they don't hold a whole boob. Even if it's your cup size, it still doesn't fit the whole boob. So it always looks like you've got 4 instead of 2. That's what quadriboob is.
What was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where it was the woman that had 3 boobs, that space movie?
I don't know.
Total Recall.
Oh, was it Total Recall? Yeah, and I remember thinking, that's amazing. Yep. An extra boob. So you get 4 boobs.
But quadriboob is not comfortable. It's not a good thing.
Man, Victoria's Secret is
not
genius.
More.
Victoria's Secret is genius.
This is like my whole Instagram advertising are all these like bra type contraptions that can stop either quadriboob or side boob or like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Okay, let's get back to Victoria's Secret's attempt to not actually be about boobs and be about instead body empowerment. Now, again, they're bringing back swimwear, they're bringing back activewear, and they brought back the runway show just this year. It's called the Tour 23. We're going to look at that in a minute. Also, they say they want to open 400 new stores outside the United States because retail's not safe, I guess, inside the United States. And the company has parted ways with Megan Rapinoe. Now, this is the controversial U.S. soccer star who, here's a YouTuber called Black and White Sports summarizing the marketability of Megan Rapinoe.
The anti-American soccer player that is best known for actually kneeling for the national anthem, the player that shanked the penalty kick in the World Cup, and America lost. But America was cheering when Megan Rapinoe missed that kick because she is anti-American. Nobody likes Megan Rapinoe. I remember also I did a video on the Subway franchisees. They were complaining to the corporate company that they needed to ditch Megan Rapinoe because she was actually tanking sales. Megan Rapinoe does not move the needle. She doesn't inspire anyone to actually buy a product. But these companies, they hire her simply to virtue signal. She does not move the meter. The only reason why anybody actually wants to hire her is because she's a part of the alphabet mafia. She's been out there pushing for men to come into women's sports and identify as women. But she can say that now, considering, she's pretty much retired now. I mean, her World Cup days are over with.
All right. So now they don't want that anymore, right? No one wants to see Megan Rapinoe in her underwear. So now Victoria's Secret says we've parted ways with her and we're going to go back to our old ways. So I would be remiss if I did not show you some of the old ways of Victoria's Secret. Here's from Cindy Crawford's Instagram. This is the first Victoria's Secret fashion show from 1995. Watch.
Here's a look at the first ever Victoria's Secret fashion show. You might want to turn on the cold shower, boys.
I told you, quadriboob.
I don't know who Victoria is.
That's the secret, and I'll always be the secret. Sorry.
I thought it was all a myth.
Victoria? No, I don't. Is she alive?
All right, so that turned into Victoria's Secret Angels, which was really popular in the early 2000s, late 90s. And then that also fell out of fashion because not everyone can afford to look like that or, not everyone's body looks like that. So Victoria's Secret hired women and men who don't look like that in order to appease everyone.
With the opposite
and
way
in retire. Yeah, and they've in return appeased no one, right? Actually, I really liked the new Supermodels special on Apple TV, and Cindy Crawford addresses this. She says, yeah, we had all of this power. People wanted to see us in all of these, fancy clothes. It was an age of glamour. She goes, what she said was, where it gets tricky is when people point out how not everyone can look like this. But that's the job, right? And so I think most of us, like I was a child of the 90s, I was an adolescent back then, and I loved looking at pictures of these things and sort of, I found it aspirational. It didn't hurt my feelings that then I didn't look in the mirror and see Cindy Crawford. I don't know. I'm the kind of woman who feels happy for other ladies to look beautiful. So I know that there's a sacrifice that goes, a pain that goes into beauty. I get it because I'm a woman. It doesn't make me mad that Cindy Crawford looks like that.
Well, and you bought the Cindy Crawford workout tapes when you were a young woman.
I did.
And so it was aspirational. You're like,
incessantly.
you know what? I want to be healthy. I want to be fit and in shape, and I want to look good. So I'm going to do the Cindy Crawford workout tapes.
I did. Between the ages of 12 and 15, I did that tape because there was 2 workouts, and you did like one on A day and one on B day, and I did it incessantly. Yes, I did that. I don't feel like it hurt me or my feelings. I feel like I'm the better for it. Now, here's the 2021 announcement of Megan Rapinoe as the new face of Victoria's Secret. Sexy and alluring, you might say. Here's what she said that she thought Victoria's Secret was at the time and how she wanted to change it all. She said bluntly that patriarchal and sexist was the image of Victoria's Secret, viewing not just what it meant to be sexy, but what the clothes were trying to accomplish through a male lens and through what men desired. And it was very much marketed towards younger women, and that was really harmful. Okay, you want to talk about how Victoria's Secret harms young women? Okay, I'll do that. Take a look at this. The head of Victoria's Secret was a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein and trafficked a lot of his models to Epstein, pretending that Epstein was a talent scout. So I would say that is a lot more harmful than hurting my feelings because someone else looks pretty in a bra.
Did she address that? Did she talk about that, Jeffrey Epstein?
Clearly
She was
not.
probably happy to take that money from them.
No, of course not. So what Rapinoe and her cohort of non-model models wanted was not to make women stronger and more resilient so that they felt good about themselves even if they saw another woman looking beautiful, but rather to tell them that those things are hurting your feelings. When you see Heidi Klum, you're hurt, and we need to amplify your feelings of inadequacy and show you other women who don't look like that, and that will make you feel better, I suppose. So Victoria's Secret replaced the Angels campaign with this campaign, what they are calling What Women Want. Watch this short ad for it.
Victoria's Secret.
It's all of our responsibility to do something to make the world a better place.
Welcome. You're accepted here. No matter what you think you're supposed to do or look like, or how your body's supposed to be, or how you're supposed to talk, you're welcome here.
All right, so see that URL that was just on the screen? Here's where it goes now. Yep. This page no longer available because I guess they don't know what women want, despite the name of that campaign. Now, I think it's worth noting that we can't just reduce this to go woke, go broke, because Victoria's Secret has actually been losing market share for a lot longer than just this ad campaign. Victoria's Secret didn't go public until 2021, but look at the stock price since its IPO back then, that it's been falling precipitously. But on the positive side, they actually did have a sizable boost in stock prices just this week since this news broke that they might be going back. Now, this is only a 5-day average, but look, people are like, oh, Victoria's Secret will come back. Maybe it will be worth investing in again. So is this Wall Street saying that this is what women want? Or, I mean, maybe it's just one interpretation. But again, we can't say, well, it's only because of this Go Woke campaign, because they had been losing market share to Third Love and Parade. Again, because some of those other bra lines really combat the quadriboob Quadriboob is the issue here, you guys. It's just as big as transgender or woke models, in my opinion. But again, we can't really give Victoria's Secret too much credit for going back to their sexy women, especially because their new runway show featured this biological male. This is Brazilian trans-identified Valentina Sampaio, who was in the Tour 23 runway show that came back this year. Again, that's not a person who understands my struggle for bras at all. We are not the same. So, you know, this may be Victoria's Secret saying they're going back to sexy, but it may not be, you know, the same kind of sexy that we're all nostalgic about. Like if you're someone like me who ordered your bathing suits from the Victoria's Secret catalog when you were in your 20s, or swimsuit summer dresses, you know, those dresses that I have that like, I still have those from the Victoria's Secret catalog. Like it was during their heyday. So here is now their rebranded form of sexiness. This is from the Tour 23 runway show that just happened this year. I'm going to show it to you. It's only 50 seconds. Watch.
Todo está listo pa' que se active porque el camino uno lo elige. Si la embarraste eso se corrige, no fue pa' tanto, la vida sigue. No estoy llorando, la vida sigue. No fue pa' tanto. Tengo demasiado tumbado, mucho con demasiado. Baila del agua al lado. Tengo demasiado tumbado. Todo está listo pa' que se active porque el camino uno lo elige. Si la embarraste eso se corrige, no fue pa' tanto, la vida sigue. No estoy llorando, la vida sigue. No fue pa' tanto.
All right.
So they didn't fully get rid of like plus size women in there at all. There was like a few quick like clips of like.
Right. No, they didn't. And, you know, that's not necessarily making me nostalgic for the like Heidi Klum days of inspirational bra
What were those,
ads.
like baggy?
Look at this.
They look like MC Hammer pants and stuff. I don't know what the heck some of that stuff was in there.
It's not lingerie. That's definitely.
You just don't understand fashion like I do.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently. I know it was like one of them looked like a cut up trash bag. I was like, okay, is that all right? Is that what we're wearing these days?
I'm pretty sure I saw fuzzy pants in there. Like,
yeah, I did too.
I don't know what occasion you use that for, but well, look at this top comment on the video that we just showed you. It said, Victoria's Secret went from a happy, glittery, magical girl to a woke, depressed, basic adult. So I think that sums up what they think is going back. I guess they don't understand what going back is. Maybe Epstein was like a good consultant for them back then, and he knew, right?
Maybe they can, still get Ghislaine Maxwell. They can do a remote consultation, Zoom calls with Maxwell.
Yeah.
In prison.
So let us know what you think of this Bringing Sexy Back campaign. If it's literally just go woke, go broke, or which I don't like that saying, but I'm using it. Or is there something else there? Is this inspiring you to think that Victoria's Secret will take you and your quadriboob seriously or not? Let me know what you think.
Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.